Hey guys! So I love plants, but I'm not really the best at keeping them alive. And I sort of blame our old house for that because we never really got really good sun in the house. So any houseplants I brought in would die unless we had like a special grow light for them. We used to grow like seedlings for our vegetable garden in the back. Those would grow because we actually had like specific lights for that. But any houseplants, But in our new place, there are windows everywhere and there is so much light. So I'm trying to see if I can get some plants to grow. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably have seen I've been going crazy buying plants. Hopefully I keep them alive. But yeah, one plant that I have specifically been super interested in for a while now is something called a Staghorn Fern. They're really interesting because you mount them like on the wall, like on a piece of wood. So it's like, I don't know, it just looks really interesting. And a plus is that it keeps it away from my cats. I don't think that it's toxic to cats, but like, it's just not good to have your cats chewing on all of your freaking plants like I have had with all the plants I brought so far. But anyway, I had been wanting a Staghorn Fern for a while. I just couldn't find them anywhere. They're not really something that like places like Home Depot or Lowe's or any big box stores like that keep in stock, as far as I'm aware, at least not the ones that are in my area. And those are usually the kind of places I go to get my plants, so I just would never see them. But the other day, my husband and I decided to go to this big garden store place that is pretty close to our house actually. And it's a local place, so usually they have a more interesting selection of plants. And guess what they had there? They had Staghorn Ferns, and I was so excited. You could buy them like already put on a plank and stuff, but they were like $100+. But they also sold potted versions, which were like significantly cheaper, like $10 or something like that. I mean, it was a little bit smaller. They had bigger ones too, like in a bigger pot. But I kind of wanted to start with a smaller one just in case I couldn't keep it alive and I killed it. I'd rather not, pay for a big one. Maybe I'll go back and get a big one if this little one does well in my house. So yeah, they sell them in pots, but you're supposed to go and mount it on some kind of vertical surface just because that's how they naturally grow, so it's just better for the plants, I guess. So anyway, when I saw it, I just grabbed it and I knew I had to have it, and I thought it would make a kind of fun project video to show you guys how to mount one. Obviously, this is the first one that I've owned, and I kind of like compiled a bunch of different how-tos. I looked at a bunch of things, did a bunch of research to figure out how I wanted to hang mine. So if you guys have any tips or tricks, then please leave them down below because I would love to read them. Thankfully, this isn't like a permanent way to hang the fern. Like, I can take it down easily if I need to. So if there's a better way for me to hang it, then let me know and I'll fix it. So yeah, let's get started. You'll need some cedar board, a hanging mechanism. I'm gonna do a French cleat, which I'll show you how to do later. Nails with a flat head, fishing line, sphagnum moss, and a staghorn fern. Cut down your board to whatever shape you want. My fern is kind of small, so I actually just used some cedar fence board that was left over from a planter box project my husband made the other day. I just kind of cut the bottom into sort of a point to mimic the look of a plaque that you would hang antlers on. Cedar is the perfect wood for this because it's rot resistant and you're basically going to be planting a plant against it, which will need to be watered regularly. So, you want something that won't just start deteriorating. I also cut down a chunk of cedar board, more planter box leftovers, and cut that into 2 pieces at a 45-degree angle for the French cleat. So first, attach your hanging hardware to the back of the board. For the French cleat, I took the smaller piece and used wood glue and nails to attach it in the middle of the fence board piece, like so. So when you hang it on the wall, it grabs onto the other piece like this. I wanted to be able to hang it this way because you're going to be taking this thing off the wall every week to water it, so I just wanted a pretty easy way to do that. And the French cleat is pretty perfect for that. So anyway, before you get started with prepping the board for planting this thing, soak some of the moss in water. I got this orchid moss because it's the only sphagnum moss that my local store sells. As you may guess, people usually use this stuff when planting orchids, but it's also perfect for these ferns too, because it helps keep the roots nice and moist. Now, mark a rough circle about as big as the fern's root ball area, and then hammer in some nails all the way around the circle, leaving them sticking out a little bit. I suggest using flat-headed nails because it helps hold the fishing line in place, without the fishing line slipping back over the nail heads and stuff. Speaking of fishing line, before continuing, tie it to one of the nails. Depot the fern and then remove most of the dirt. Take a bit of moss, wring it out, and then spread it onto the board inside of the circle. Place the fern on top, and start laying down more wrung out moss to cover the roots. You want to make sure that the fern wants to stay sticking out and up when you hold it vertically. Apparently, you can hang these upside down, which you should be able to tell because all the leaves will droop down. Anyway, start bringing the fishing line around and wrap it around the nails to secure the moss and fern down. There's not really any special way to do this, just keep going until everything is being held in nicely. And apparently you're also supposed to wrap the string around over the big shield looking leaf as well to really help hold the fern in place. So I did that twice. It's kind of hard to see this leaf with my fern because there are so many other leaves, but this particular leaf is at the base and is more of a circle shape. These leaves grow and keep the fern in place on whatever it's growing on. So don't worry about the fishing line, I guess, being super visible here because eventually your fern should grow a new leaf like this and cover it. Once that's all nice and secure, tie the end of the line off and cut. And that's pretty much it. Just find a nice place to hang it and enjoy your unique fern. To hang with the French cleat, attach the lower part of the cleat onto the wall. For now, I'm just using command strips, and if that doesn't hold well, I'm just going to screw it into the wall. Attach it so that the smaller face of the cleat is in contact with the wall, and then you just place the fern on like so, and there you go. To water your fern, just take it off the wall and place the base of it into some water and let it soak for a few minutes. You want the water level to come up and submerge the board and a little bit of the sphagnum moss. Once that's done soaking, take it out of the water and let the wood dry before hanging it back up again. Generally, you need to water these guys about once a week or once every other week. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I freaking love this fern. I hope that it grows well in my house. I guess only time will tell. I'm sure I'll be keeping you guys updated on Instagram, so follow me on there if you want to keep up with that. If you did like this video, please leave a like, and if you want to see more, then feel free to subscribe. I post art videos every Tuesday and DIY videos every Thursday. I'm also starting to get back into Twitch. If you watched the last two of my art videos, I've been talking about it, but I think the next Twitch stream that I'm gonna do is on Sunday, about 1 Central Standard Time, but I've been working on a piece, so yeah, if you're interested in that, go check out my Twitch, follow me on Instagram or Twitter, and I'll be posting whenever I go live. Thank you to my patrons for helping me produce this video. If you are interested in becoming a patron or just learning about what Patreon is, I'll leave a link to mine right up here and you can go check it out. If you have any questions or suggestions for future videos, please leave a comment down below, and I'll see you next week.